This is Dustin here from uBuyFirst, and I'm going to show you how to do the basic setup to get rolling and find those newly listed buy it now items. Before you get here on the screen I'm seeing, you would have received a CD activation key through email, and upon opening up the application for the first time you'd be asked to enter that in. But then once you've gotten past that and you're in the application, you'll see the screen that I'm seeing now. The first tab you'll want to go to in the upper left hand corner is the keywords tab, and from here you would come down and click new and put in an alias. Alias is going to be an internal name for you, such as iPhone 5 Verizon, and the keywords tab is going to be the actual keyword you're going to send eBay for your search requirement. The threads you will want to bump up kind of based on a priority. If you're having some trouble competing with some newly listed ones, it's basically going to be the frequency and priority that your PC can send calls out per search term that you have set up. This is only going to be the only one that I've got set up for the tutorial purpose, so I'm just going to set it up to 3. You would then set your price range, minimum and maximum. I'm going to set that I want to choose USA only, and then click save. You're pretty much done on this side of things for basic training. These other auto buy area will save for a more advanced tutorial, not in this one. And the next thing you would do is come over here to options and put in your zip code of where your items are going to ship to and have delivered to. This is going to send any listings that have either a calculated or a variable shipping cost and add it to the total price field within the main interface when it's searching. Therefore, you don't have any need to do any calculations on shipping costs. And then you're going to set your max age if you already have something in there. Usually 10's about a pretty good number. That's going to be the number of minutes it's going to go back and look for new listings every time it makes a search. You don't want to set it at 2 or 3 because sometimes, and really about on the average, it takes about that amount of time, and eBay's item might say that it's been up for only 5 seconds, or you've only seen it for 5 seconds, but the listed time might be 2 or 3 minutes back. So set it at about 10 to start off with. This purchasing log path is just going to leave it default. It's going to where it saves the found items to your local PC. You got some proxy options here, but for this beginning tutorial we'll stay away from that. You do have over here highlighted words in the listing, and since I'm searching for a phone, these keywords will show up in yellow: water, damaged, cracked, stolen, bad, or broken. This is going to help me be able to scan a listing much faster, or eliminate one, or get straight to something, a keyword or phrase that's important, to help you scan that description much faster and make a more informed purchasing decision. And then I did something like all the carrier names that could potentially come up, in case someone listed it in the title or description or item spec, but had it different in the description. So that's one of the frequent ones with buying cell phones. So you just have to play and mix with it based on the colors and priorities, and set something in your mind. But you have 3 different color options. The next, I'm going to go over here to specifics, and since I'm searching for cell phones, I know that the category ID is 9355. If you want to find that bit of information from an eBay listing, you can hover here, and in the bottom tray down here in the bottom, it'll show 9355 in the URL. You'll hit get specifics, it's basically going to go and pull all the item specifics for that category so that you can bring them into the user interface. The ones that are most important for me to make a purchasing decision are carrier, model, and I think and storage capacity. The model, I like to end up making sure, just from an eBay buyer protection standpoint, that if it says it's an iPhone 5 in the item specs and it's in the 9355 category, at least a cell phone that's an iPhone 5 has to arrive. Where sometimes it's easy to pull the trigger and click on one that's newly listed, knowing that if someone else doesn't buy it very soon, you're not going to have a chance to get it, and you could pull the trigger a little bit early before reviewing everything. And that looks like I'm about done on those ones that I need, and then I'll click add selected. Those are pretty much already added. Now I'll come back over, make sure I've got everything put in correctly, and we should be ready to go. I'm going to go down here to the bottom right. You can keep the idle timeout the same and enable the idle timeout. That's basically, it's going to cut off the craziness of calls it's making per second after 20 minutes and just make sure that you're still there at the computer. You can have a pop-up from Tray Alert. If the application is minimized, it'll pop back up. And a sound alert, there is one by default, or you can browse your computer by clicking the S button, and then you would basically come and click start. It'll say no proxies selected, proceed with direct connections. That's okay, just click yes. It's going to use your internet connection for now, and it's searching eBay. It could take just a minute to bring a couple listings back. Actually, just for purposes here, maybe nothing was listed in the last 10 minutes. I'm going to stop it and set it back for 60 minutes just here initially, just so I can populate some results. Looks like just one there. The next thing you want to do is, by default, you're going to want to just move these columns around here at the top. The first thing you can do is right click anywhere up here in the gray and take off ones that you're not going to need or want to include in the user interface. And click done, and then I'm going to rearrange them. I like having my term first, my internal name, followed by title, and I can drag that out. Then I like having the total price, making that a little bit smaller, and so on. And you can keep moving. It's there for a verification, the model, the carrier, the storage capacity, and then from there, when newly listed ones are found, they'll show up in green. If they're sold, they'll show up in red, and if they're aged, they'll kind of be a grayish color. Once a newly listed item pops up, you'll just single click, and you can click on a picture to blow it up, as well as you can add some other item specs here as well, here in this area, just for a double check. And then if you want to purchase the item, you'll basically double click on the record or click the buy button over here. So if you double click over here on my other screen, it'll take you straight to the listing, and since you've already reviewed all the information, there should be no need to check it again. You'll just hit buy it now. And that really concludes the beginning tutorial for this. Check out the other videos.